shall we say. Let's see them. I think it's more that nice if we see a bit more of a casual playthrough of this game now coming through between two teams who are struggling a little bit, I'd say, this season.
For sure. I think like Leões Porto Salvo are probably considered one of the top sharks in the tournament. But last week they dropped the game against Ace, Portuguese team, and now I think they want this win back because they were considered one of the best teams here. But on the other side, Seven Sins also looking for the win because they also are 0-2 and not looking too good quite yet. As they want to take this first win. Also, like last week, they had a sub coming in. But now I think they got the roster figured out. Let's see what they can do for us here. I think Darius carries you is one of the main carries from this team. He got one hell of a Kled game on the first week. But here now on a bit of a different pick on the top lane. As I want to see who wins this because it's an interesting matchup on the top lane, I think.
Yeah. The Trundle into the Gwen is a fun one, but typically Trundle versus most melee champions will just kind of smack her about. So I think that pre-6 Gwen is probably favoured. Post-6 I'd imagine that Trundle comes into his own a little bit more. So I'm excited to see how it does go. The Ignite might flip that one around in an opposite favour. But it's not just about the champions this game, is it? Because these teams, whilst we talk about the importance of them playing well, shall we say, I think it's also worth noting both of these teams are very interested in picking up this win for pride, shall we say, as well as for the points.
Yeah, some trash talking going behind the scenes for this game, so I'm sure hyped to watch this one because there was some trash talking going on, as I was saying, and this is going to be a fun one because the team who wins gets to laugh and the other gets to cry a bit because I think both teams want to win pretty hard on this one.
Yeah, I fully expect there to be more flexing than a local gym, as some aggression coming down here on the top side. The Ignite is going to be popped. There's no flash to follow up though, so Darius carries you. Will happily limp away from that one. But it was scary there. Outplaying looked for the damage. It is Ignite missing now on the top side.
Yeah. And on the top lane, Migam was already with a bit of an aggression, dropping the Ignite, but couldn't quite find the first blood. And also we have both junglers going into the bot lane pathing. Let's see, because I think Seven Sins, Spicy Grills got a bit of a push here going on bot lane, and maybe not the best situation here for LPS to contest this grab, as it might go down to Diana.
Yeah, it's also a very losing bot side 3v3 there.
3v3, yeah.
Especially when you are running that Yuumi as your support matchup early. You don't really want to be doing much, especially against something like a Kalista, right? So it feels like Seven Sins, they know that they're the stronger ones, so they immediately get this bot crab for their jungler. But Best Zac World does identify that, goes towards the top side, tries to deny that potential of the multi, but now Menacing Bob looking towards the mid lane. I think this is more of a transition gank. They're not trying to actually kill, they just want to chunk out mid so they can go to that top crab. However, it's a little bit too late. Best Zac World has already secured that one and now might be looking for Menacing Bob.
But look, Malik here,
find a little bit.
He connects
the hook
first.
is in, but nothing will come.
Yeah, Malik here connects first, and he's got the flash out from Bob, as we got a bit of an aggression here on the top lane again. And Darius carries you, gets away. Herrick again, dropping out on the HP bar. It goes base, I think he's gonna TP top, and this is gonna be an advantage here for Leões Porto Salvo on the early game, as they got already 2 sums, I think. Yeah, 2 sums already, and this is very important for them because I think while the ghosts, I also, did you check the ghosts from Leões Porto Salvo jungler?
Yeah, so it was a ghost. It was a ghost. It was a ghost there in the top side.
But it's interesting to watch him get the ghost, right?
It is interesting. I wouldn't say it's good. It's definitely interesting. It's usually, I think if you're going to run ghost, you would prefer to do it on the Shadow Assassin variation is we are seeing more trading coming through from this Trundle, starting to reach those that Sheen breakpoint, starting to make that matchup very difficult to decide about playing. Diver isn't on the cards here, I don't think. If you go for it, you kind of just kill yourself, so usually that's suboptimal league gameplay, but I see it a lot in my solo queue. However, yeah, absolutely not the play in your competitive environment. Yeah. But with the build that Besak has, with the Iron Spike Whip, we are going to be seeing that Rast form as well as the Conqueror. We are going to see the Gore Drinker come through, and a gank in the mid lane, just looking to stack it up as the Yasuo ulti wasn't taken yet. It's level 5 on the Silas, is looking for it, does get the turnaround. The gank ends up working here for Loss. It's a great kill there in the top side.
First blood coming out for the jungle of Leões, Porto, Salvo. And honestly, I think it was a bit of an overstep from God Prime here on the mid lane. Honestly, he shouldn't have stepped up too far in that situation. I think he got to flash out. He should have just gone under tower. Bit of a overstay there, and he gets punished from it.
Yeah, good punish. I mean, it's fantastic to see. As you say, I think there's definitely some misplays involved there from God Prime, but at the end of the day, you take what you're given, and you take yourself that first blood happily. And my question is whether or not this Kayn will be able to use that first blood, that little bit of extra gold, effectively to snowball the rest of the game, moving towards that bottom side now to secure another crab.
Yeah, and also the bot lane is working on that vision for the Drake. I think they could have contested here the Drake, Leões, Porto, Salvo.
Ulti popped from Darius Carries You. I think that's a bit preemptive. I must confess I'm not big on that. Maybe it's a big brain bait where you go, I have no ult, now she'll fight me, but my Diana is topside, so maybe we can kill. But it just seems like a bit of a misplay.
Yeah. I would agree with you. Here on the mid lane we have a bit of a ganking coming on from Best Zac World, as he's not playing Zac today. That's an interesting game. We got a counter gank here on top as well.
And the bait does end up working out in the long term. Outplaying thought that they were alone, but no. It's actually just a 5-head Darius play. I didn't know those existed, but it's going to work out here for 7SG.
But recollect, how big of a brain have you got to predict the future?
Honestly, that was just copium. I was just I was just saying it because it made me feel better, but apparently it all makes sense for the side of Darius Carries You, so... At the very least, it is now clear that there is that point of power, and I think this top lane matchup, which is so revolving, you know, it can really go either way. It really does sort of flip-flap like a seesaw, giving yourself that little bit more gold, that little bit of financials to change it into your favor. So big in this one, as Prime just trying to get away, it seems, from the Silas, does get chunked, but is absolutely fine.
Yeah. You get the chunk here. I think, by the way, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think Kayn's gotta go for the raid transformation because of the Mali G ult on God of Prime, because we got 2 Yasuos technically, right? So yeah, maybe the red Kayn is better for the knockout.
It's possible. There is also the downside though, where if you go Rast, you might get milked by Trundle because of the stat stick stealing. Oh yeah. Right now, Trundle doesn't have that like any amazing ults to take, stats to take, because the best you have is Gwen, which is awkward. So maybe there is that downside. However, I still think that you are going to see the Rast based on the build that we have. But actually, I kind of would prefer to see Shadow Assassin, because I think that you give Trundle a bad ult, he loses value. You are able to one-shot these squishy members, where most of the competition is squishy in this early to mid-game. You have options either way. I think both are fine. I'm interested to see what playstyle comes out based on the form we get, though, because that will really dictate this game, I feel.
I also want to see some Drake action going on. Both junglers have been really quiet on the early game here. One gank coming out from the Leões, Porto, Salvo, but so far not much happening. I think Diana works good on the scaling side.
Are you interested in Dragon?
Yeah, I wanted to see some Dragon
action. D's nuts, got him. Anyway, On the subject of Dragon, we've got ourselves
Ghost
one
popped
being
out.
just announced. Best Cyclone looking to be engaged, does get charmed up, does get CC. Goodbye, my friend. The Kane's gone instantly, and it might just be a case of whether or not the rest of the team are able to find themselves a little bit more going through. It's going to be the double being turned around, though. 2 going over for LPS. Maybe else can find more, but it just feels like the wind wall is not online. Unfortunately, you ain't 0-10 yet. It's going to be 3 to 4 quick kills here for LPS.
Such a disappointing flasher from the Diana. I don't know what Manassi Bob was doing there. It just went in and flashed out trying to get 1 kill. Was a bit of an awkward play to see, honestly, but I think for sure Spicy Gorillas here overstepped a bit. They should have just gone for the first initial engage where they got the Yasuo ult with the Diana, and that's where their power relies on. And I think they gotta play towards that, honestly, because after that the fight doesn't go too well for them, and that's pretty much what happened. I mean, they've got a Yumi against them, and here I think you cannot disrespect that, because the Yumi just buys you so much time here with the Gwen is immune, especially on the later team fights. I mean, they've got a Silas, they got a Gwen is immune, they got pretty much like every single one of them can tank for a long time, and they gotta watch out for that. Like, the initial engage may work, but other than that, I think Spicy Gorilla's gotta play the fights like as a tic-tac, just give in, go in, go out. I don't know.
It definitely felt like the investment they used to start that fight was a bit too much, right? Because they blew the quickness grand entrance from Rakan, they blew the moonfall from the Diana, they blew the last breath from the Yasuo, and when all you have left for the rest of the fight is the Fate's Call from the Callista, it's not enough to deal with the other members, because you blow up Kane, great. Siva's still there. You've still got Yumi. You've still got this Silas who can be so strong. And that was kind of the problem, especially when your strongest member, Trundle, isn't there. So I like the idea from 7SG. Just feel like they've got to adjust how they play these fights on subject of adjustments. They need to transition around the map, because this Herald is a threat in the top side to that first tower. And LPS, they're a bit quicker on the rotations.
Here on the mid lane.
They are going to try and look for something though. Mid lane, Preto going to get punctured down. Moonfall blown, doesn't matter. Easy pick. They lost top tower in exchange. Is it worth? Not sure.
Don't think it's worth. Also, what a great play here from Leões, Porto, Salvo. Getting a bit of a macro level play, because I think 7, since Spice Gorillas wasn't expecting this arrow top, and also the rotation from a champion which pretty much doesn't rotate any time of the game, but rotating here with the Yumi, and it gets them the first tower of the game.
It's also going to now get a teleport coming through here in the bottom side. Gwen going to go in, outplaying, looking for the ult. He doesn't seem to remember that Gwen's ult has changed, so it's cooldown based now instead of hit based. So did lose a little bit of distance there. Doesn't seem to matter though. It's going to be able to walk out for free, but it's teleport blown and not a lot gained. So Leopoldo Salvo not exactly gaining what they wanted, should we say, off of that global resource.
Yeah, and now Gwen has got to go top side because the wave is stacked, and Trundle just pretty much roams here on the top lane. He may go base. I think Leões, Porto, Salvo are going towards the top side here of the jungle, so I think Trundle just gotta reset or wait for the next wave to come out. Maybe he shouldn't have pushed that. Freeze the wave top may be a better option there, because now he's gotta wait on the bush, as we can see. Daddy carries you, waiting on the top lane for the next wave, and pretty much nothing is going on the map right now, so maybe just wait a bit on the top lane for the waves.
I wonder whether or not we will see any proactivity come through now from this Kane. Has picked up the Gorge Drinker, the items are coming online, and let's show
no ult on Gwen.
Items, Trundle got that Divine Tundra, smacking away as Darius carries you. Lethal Tempo doing work, the ulti has popped, the Trundle is just running him down, flash, chomp, munches like a bread biscuit. Beautiful stuff there. But the change around coming through in the bottom side too. Last breath invested. Grand entrance is used as well. But the CC chain, the turnaround is coming through. Yuumi is showing the power. And Rakan is going to be taken right back to the shower in the fountain. Easy kill there. It is going to be a 1-for-1 though. Question is how much more can get done. It's going to be 2. Make that 3 kills coming through. The Trundle is teleported in. And unfortunately Darius carries you is going to carry this one.
The TPs here are being funny today. Honestly, from both top players.
It's a banger.
Now 7 Sins get a bit of a gold lead on the game. Although, like, I feel like LPS are still on the driver's seat because they've got the better team comp here. I don't feel like late game can be too much of an option for the spicy gorillas, so they've got to take down the lions here before the game gets to the late game. Because honestly, like, as I was saying, first contact works, yes, but like, what can you really do against a Yuumi and pretty much every single player from Leões Porto Salvo as a way of dodging this Diana?
I think we might be in for a spicy play in the bottom side though, because Kane with Yuumi looking for Kalista, running them down, doesn't find too much though. It's just entering that lull state where these guys are starting to try and find their tempo, they're starting to try and their feet, and they're looking for what they can find. And I think it's time that we look a bit towards the items, you know? Because the shield bows are both online for this Kalista Yasuo, but I don't think the Kalista has gained that much of an advantage in the lane where realistically you kind of want to push hard. Actually, pretty much even in CS, I wonder how long it will be until LPS are able to start winning those grouped up team fights, and whether or not Darius carries you will be able to split the night away effectively into this Gwen.
Yeah, both teams here coming to the Drake pit because the Drake is coming up pretty soon. And honestly, I feel like 7 Sins may have the advantage here because I don't think Leões has too much of an option into the pits. Also, they might just try to steal it, as we see a bit of an aggression here. Leões going in.
Yeah, Best Like World looking for it. The Yuumi is going to be popping that final chapter. Question is, will it be reading out the will of the members of 7SG? They're looking for the turnaround in exchange, and it does seem like plenty is being done. Trundle's getting sucked by Silas, but slowly but surely the disengage with the move comes through. Suddenly the fight is breaking out very quickly. 3-man knock up on the backside. You got to wonder whether or not anything's going to come. The TP coming through here from Gwen very soon, and they're kiting it back. Here comes out playing, looking for Darius carries you. How much can you do? How much can you carry? Are you heavy enough? Unfortunately, you ain't no weightlifter. You going down. Easy shutdown there for Gwyneth Paltrow, and suddenly LPS come alive in the team fight.
Ah, and disaster here from the side of 7 Sins. And what if I honestly from Leões Porto Salvo? First time it felt like they were not getting the engage they wanted, and also like Silas didn't connect anything, and a bit of a wrong gold from from the engage there, but they managed to get the fight. They managed to get the ace. They got the Drake. Honestly, I don't know what happened there from 7 Sins. They didn't get what they wanted because they lost Drake and they lost like 5 members out of nowhere.
And crucially, it was the case of the Moonfall only landing onto 1 or 2. They didn't get enough off of their Yasuo Diana combo, and now it might be the Yasuo Rakan combo that's trying to look for a bit more. They find out playing for a pick. Can they transition it into anything else? The Rift Herald is in their sights.
I think they're looking for the Rift Herald.
The only thing that worries me about this is Kalista is miles away. Luckily, Silas doesn't have teleport, so no one can really answer it, so it is going to be picked up here by the Sins. Now I want to see them transition this into a proactive play. Got a Prime looking for more, finds the Sivir, star player trying to run it out, does end up getting their support come through in time. Last chapter is open, it is going to be the final chapter. How much they're going to be able to read in this one? It's going to be an easy pick up for the first kill. Maybe they can look for more. Best Sack World not going to do so. Just a little bit unfortunate there for the side of 7SG.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you're playing against Yuumi. Honestly, like, even if MX was super ahead on Yasuo, it feels very underwhelming because it just makes so much time with the Yuumi. And yeah, it was the case there in mid lane. As Darius carried you, will get caught here on the top lane. He cannot be on the side lane here alone. Still got his flash, but it's not quite gonna pop it out, as he may not get out even with a flash. And honestly, like as I was saying on the mid lane there, we saw Silver getting a bit of aggression from MX here on the Yasuo, but it doesn't really work out, does it? Because if it's not the full team there, don't think anyone from Leões Porto Salvo will die on these fights.
I mean, we need to see how easy the backline access will be found, because right now it feels like the Sins, if they're able to find that bit of backline access with their Yasuo Diana combo, and with the Rakan helping to enable that, they can do so much. They can still take over a fight. The problem is, LPS are doing a fantastic job of splitting themselves up, of spreading out. Question is, they're not spread out right now. Are they going to be able to find God at Prime? The Windwall comes through, does block out Preto, but there's so much damage, so many members. Last Breath isn't going to be used, but nice knock-up. The re-engage now coming through. Diana's entered the fray. It's going to be plenty of damage coming through, but not the move for just yet. There it is. It's 2 members, though it might be enough this time around. 2-man knock-up afterwards. They're going to find a couple, but the Callista is all left alone, and unfortunately, Star Prime is going to go down. It's now going to be 4 dead. It's just Darius Carries You versus the world. But the Trundle might end up winning it out. Doesn't have ulti available. Is slowly but surely getting a slappening happening to the back of his head. But is going to be able to kite it out. Oh, Silas is in. Beautiful stuff there from Preto. Does find the final kill. 3 for 5. Or 2 for 5, sorry. Ace coming through there. Last Preto's spot.
Yeah, and a sub 25. 2 aces from Leões Porto Salvo. Here, good performance from them. Honestly, like, I don't know why Seven Sins is fighting too much after, like, their primary engage is gone, because this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, you cannot really do anything against Yumi, Gwen. I don't know, man. Like, it feels a bit like heartbreaking, honestly, because I don't think Seven Sins has got much of a way out of this game the longer it goes. And now they also got a bit of a deficit on the gold side. I honestly feel like that doesn't matter too much, but it will matter for the later fights. And right now, I feel like both teams can fight well, and there's not too much of an advantage, like as one team is super ahead. But it doesn't feel like Seven Sins are getting their way so quick.
Yeah, they might do it off this though. Preto just jumping the wall. Brother Preto there, checking the PayPal on that one. Doesn't defy stopwatch. It might have just been the biggest brain play in human history. Is now potentially getting a winning fight. Has got a Prime is the one that goes down. So does the Rakan, and I don't know how that worked. I think it might have been some sort of 5-head play I didn't see coming, as Star player just going to Gale Force in for the easy kill. Menacing Bob looking more intimidated than menacing right now and just has to run away. At the very least, the one positive they have is this Trundle trolling in the side lane. Has got his club, is performing a bit of battering on that one, but his team's taking an even bigger battering.
Yeah, Rick, like, you're on point here.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. The question is whether or not Darius is going to be on point, and unfortunately, the only thing that's going to be pointing him is those scissors into the back of the neck. Nice kill there, going down.
Yeah. But, like, how bad can you feel if you're playing on the Seven Sins side here? Like, you're getting a good engage.
You feel pretty fine unless you're Darius, in which case you feel severe depression.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Don't worry, guys. We scale. Don't worry. I carry this. Don't worry, guys.
I mean, honestly, like, Trundle scales, but how much can he scale? Like, after the next is blown? I don't know. Here feels a bit bad from the side of Seven Sins, because I think, like, Darius Carries is getting a good performance, honestly. It's not doing too bad, right? I think he's doing a good game, honestly. Like, on the side lane, he's doing good against this Gwen, but we saw there, like, Seven Sins tries to engage on one target, they get someone caught, but boom, insta Zonius from the Silas. Boom, insta everyone on your face, and you pretty much cannot kill anyone instantly. And when that doesn't happen with Yasuo Diana, that's very preoccupying for me.
It's definitely a difficult one. The scaling is coming through. And it feels like they're definitely struggling. But again, we've still got the powers of a new developmental drug called Thropium, which is always possible in these games. You know, you just get one of those instances where one thing goes wrong, and if there's ever a place you can receive more Thropium than anywhere else, it's at these neutral objectives at the Baron. It started up, the turnaround is coming through. Here comes Fredo, here comes Kane on the backside. Easy turnaround there for first kill of the fight. Question is, can they combo this out? It is looking pretty okay. Moonfall does land onto a couple, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. This time though, Darius is here in time, but it doesn't seem to matter. The damage is just not there from anybody else, and Darius carries you, isn't carrying anything.
Well, bada boom, bada bam. That's the third ace from Leões Porto Salvo. Honestly, we've got a bit of a saying here in Portugal, which is the third time is the last time. It's something like that. Because it will be effective.
Feels like, it feels like third time's the charm.
Yeah, that's
there isn't any chance.
That's the one.
It definitely feels like there's not a whole lot of scaling coming through. There's not a whole lot of hope coming through. It's just a case now of finding picks, I think, because when you are this Sins team, you've tried team fighting 3 times now. Let's just get rid of the team part and let's look for ganging up on instead. You know, we're gonna be like an alleyway. We're just gonna jump people. Look for those sort of numbers advantage fights. Maybe you can play from that.
Honestly, if I was them, I would just put Darius Carrizy on the side lane, perma push him, the Gwen. I think he may still win. I don't know. I think like you gotta be annoying at this point. You just gotta be on the side lane, pretty much just push. I don't know.
Just annoy them to death.
Yeah, annoy them to death. I mean, Leões Porto Salvo may surrender just because they're so pissed from the side lane pressure. No, but like seriously, on this game, I don't see any way out. Like on the 5v5s, like it's been terrible from the 7 Sins to try 5v5ing this Leões Porto Salvo roster.
Yeah, maybe their way out is to get this Baron stolen away, but Darius Carries, you're going to have to flash out. It's a 4v1. I know I said maybe let the Trundle do his own thing, but this is not what I had in mind. Unfortunately, just going to get taken down. Play through trouble.
But Migams is in trouble.
Outplaying now, looking for the same play, trying to find a lot of damage. I have to think this is a little bit over-aggressive here from the Gwen, but here comes the turnaround, and that nothing was really blown to kill the Trundle. They have plenty in reserve. Gale Force forward now onto Rhythm. Easy second kill of the fight for Scylla. Looking for the Quadra, maybe you're going to be able to find it. God at Prime is going to be going down pretty soon. It's a triple kill. Make that only a triple, though. The fourth goes down to the Yumi. It's an ace come through for Los Petosado. I have to feel as though maybe they're going to be ending this one.
Yeah.
That was an FF.
That was an FF. Well, victory here for Leões Porto Salvo. Triple kill from Quartzo, and that's what happens pretty much when you get a Yumi on your back on this type of games. I
don't know what the rules are towards FFing in this league, but I imagine that game was just going to be a case of hitting the Nexus towers anyway.
Yeah.
So if there is any rules against it, I hope that nothing is enforced for this one, because it's like that they were literally just saving time. That was one of those where it's like all that would have happened is Trundle would have respawned, died, and then no one was up